program. As you know, this is an informative session about the LLM program. So the co-directors of the master are going to give us all the details about the program. The directors are Professor Emilio Armaza and Professor Felipe Gomez. If you have any question, of course, you can use the section of the chat we have in this application, in this Zoom application. So please feel free to do it. And afterwards, you will have the chance to get solved all the questions you have, okay? So Professor Emilio Armaza, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irache, for this kind introduction. So the first thing I have to say is to express our gratitude because you are here trying to understand in which are the focus of this new program that has been implemented at Deusto University. We're going to try to explain all the details about the content, about the system that we have adopted to develop this master program, and at the end, of course, feel free to make any kind of question you want to ask us. The first thing that I have to say is to let you know some key features of this LLM program. Concerning the format and venue, I have to say that this program will be developed totally at the University of Deusto, especially in the Bilbao campus. So this will be a face-to-face program. You will need to be here. You need to be in Bilbao. Of course, if the situation next year is somehow problematic, we will have some online lessons, no? Especially for those professors that are based in the different countries. I'm thinking, for example, for professors who are based in the United States, professors who are based in other European countries that are not allowed to travel to Bilbao in this situation. This year, for example, we had an hybrid system. Mainly, most of the classes are face-to-face, but we have sometimes online lessons, online lectures. But as I said before, due to the pandemic. But if the situation gets better in the future, of course, the whole master will be on campus. Okay. Then the second question is the calendar. The master begins in September and will be finishing at the end of June. However, I have to say that at the end of March, at the beginning of April, the lecturers, the proper lecturers, will be finished as well. So you will have all April and all June to prepare the last course, that is, of course, the dissertation, which is an investigation, a research that you have to do to obtain the LLM. So you will finish the lectures, the classes on March, at the end of March, but the master will be finished on June. Then the dedication, as you can see, is full-time. So that means that you have to be studying this master all the time during the complete academic year. We usually concentrate different courses in weeks. So, for example, you will have one course that will be developed during the whole week, maybe 2 weeks in some cases, in some courses that are more that are include more content in the course, but mainly you will have to attend classes every week. The classes usually take place during the afternoons. Right now, the LLM students are on classes from 4 to 8 p.m. But sometimes we have also classes during the morning. But mainly, all the classes are held in the afternoon. Then, as you can see, the language is English. The complete master will be taught in English. Also, the final dissertation, the final degree project, post-graduation project will be in English. So you need to prove, you need to send us some kind of certification. Maybe later we can talk about it, that you understand and you can speak in English. Then I have to say that we have two kinds of international mobility. Professor Felipe Gomez some minutes later will be explaining this, the content of these two international activities, but you have to distinguish between the compulsory mobility, which is the first one, the field experience abroad. This will be a compulsory activity, and the second one that will be optional, which is the international mobility program. Now, this is a regular exchange program. Then the tuition fees, as you can see, are those that you can see on the screen. If you are a Deusto alumni, that means former Deusto students, you will have a discount of 10% of this fee. But also, if you are students from other universities with University of Deusto, have some kind of relations. Now, for example, if we have been a part of the Erasmus program, for example, this is a good opportunity for you if you are interested in traveling to Spain or to make this kind of a master program. Well, second question that I want to talk a little bit is about the academic profile of our candidates. First thing that I have to state is that this master program has been specially designed and prepared for those professionals that are interested in international legal issues. Therefore, if you are thinking in participate in this program, we will take into consideration the application of those students that comes from, for example, law sciences, international relations, political sciences, sociology, business administration, modern languages, philosophy as well, and maybe other kind of undergraduate programs. In any case, as you can see during your undergraduate students, for example, in law, also in international relations, we have at this level, undergraduate level, we have a lack of studies in detail of international legal issues. We already know, for example, the general concepts of international public law, private international law, but we don't know the details of every single problem that arise from these subjects of law in general. That's why we have implemented this master program. In this program, we will have, and Professor Felipe will explain later, we have implemented several contests, several courses that abord in detail every single problem of from the international legal perspective. Then why this LLM is interested or could be interested for you apart from the content. Now, the first thing that I have to say is that this is an official master. That means that its quality, the quality of the professors, the quality of the contents of the master has been recognized by the ANECA. And ANECA is the National Agency for Quality Assessment and Accreditation that has been implemented for the Spanish government, especially for the Ministry of Universities. So we have this accreditation. The quality of the master is has been obtained 2 years ago. So when master's programs holds this kind of accreditation, also the master's allows to the students to be the future students of a PhD program. So if you hold this master degree, you can be part of PhD programs in the future. Then I have to say that we have a very highly qualified group of professors. As you can see in the slides, we have, for example, Professor Miquel Mantisidor, who is Vice President of the Committee of Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights of the United Nations. We have also George Ulrich, who is Academic Director of the European Master on Human Rights and Democratization. He's also full professor of human rights at Riga University. We have also as a professor Diego Rodriguez Pinzón, who is member of the United Nations Against Torture. We have as well Professor Maita Chan Gonzaga, who is professor of political law and associate dean of the Ateneo of Manila University in the Philippines. But we have also our core of professors that comes from Deusto University. If you have been alumni of Deusto University, of course, some of these faces will be familiar for you. For example, Professor María Pilar Canedo, Professor Luis Gordillo, Professor Laura Gómez, María Luisa Sánchez Barrueco, Joana Brisqueta, Beatriz Pérez de las Heras, and other professors that you already know and that are very, very famous professors, and they have a professional activity for years and years. Then I have to say something about opportunities for personal and professional advancement. You have to know that if you develop this master program, you will be qualified to join some institutions, some organizations that are interested in obtaining personnel with an international legal background. For example, there are an amount of law firms that are very interested in hiring this kind of professionals. Also, international organizations, corporations, NGOs, in the academia as well, think tanks and domestic public bodies on gender, for example, equality, or asylum seekers. In this slide, for instance, you can see some institutions, some organizations that has different jobs opportunities for professionals that has this international legal background. You can see, for example, European Chemicals Agency that is based and located in Finland, European Synchrotron Radiation Facility located in France, Google in France, HMA in Barcelona, IBM in Madrid, Infobip in Croatia, International Commercial and Trade Group in Washington, DC in the United States, and the International Association of Oil and Gas Producers located in Belgium. In any case, what I want to tell you and what I want let you know is that mainly these master programs will offer training for you to develop some kinds of skills that are very useful in the international framework. So you will be able to travel to other countries, to travel to other institutions far from Bilbao, far from Spain, and develop your activity, your legal activity, with normality, without any problem. So I think that this is all that I want to tell you, and I will give the floor to Professor Felipe Gomez. He will continue with this presentation. Professor Felipe Gomez.
Well, thank you to Professor Emilio Armaza, and thank you also to Irache San Miguel. She's our secretary. Now I'm going to deal with the academic program of the LLM in International Legal Studies. Well, the LLM is divided in two semesters. The first semester, the fall semester, it starts in September and finishes by the end of January. And the second semester starts in February and ends by the end of June, as Professor Armaza has explained. Well, in terms of the modules in which the LLM is divided, first of all, there is a general module on challenges of contemporary international law. And this module is composed of two topics. First of all, European integration and international business, and second, human rights law and the protection of the environment. So these are the two topics, the two main topics that will be covered within this first module. And then the second module has to do with international law in practice. This LLM, as Professor Armaza was also explaining, has also a practical component, and we try to focus our teaching and our expertise on specific tools, specific skills to be able to develop the legal skills that you have to acquire. That's why the main topic of this second module has to do with training for international legal practice. And there are two courses, one on ADR, on alternative dispute resolution and international litigation, and there are specific tools for international legal practice, and that's a specific course on strategic human rights litigation. And then, last but not least, Professor Armaza was referring to the field experience abroad. This is a compulsory course. It's a 1 week course, but it's based in a European country. Please, Emilio, could you go to the next slide? Yes, these are the two places where we developed this week. The first has to do with competition law from an international perspective, and students will go with accompanied by some professors, by the coordinators of this module on competition law. They will go to Luxembourg, and they will visit first the domestic body on competition law in Luxembourg, and also the European Court of Justice. These two institutions are based in Luxembourg, and that the students will have the opportunity to meet and to talk to the people working for these institutions. And the second experience will be based in Krakow, in Poland, and it will include a visit to the concentration camp of Auschwitz. And it is a course, it's an intensive course on genocide, mass atrocities and memory under international law. So these are the two experiences. Students have to choose one experience or the other, but they will be based in either in Luxembourg or in Auschwitz, in Krakow, in Poland. And this is, as Professor Armaza was explaining, this is a compulsory component of the LLM, and it is included. The price of the LLM includes travel, accommodation, and the course in these two places. Please, next, yeah. And then the second semester, it starts in February, by the beginning of February, and there is a compulsory component. There is a module on law, science, and new technologies, one course on bio-law, directed by Professor Armaza, and another course on international legal analytics, the issue of big data and how it affects and how it influences the evolution of the law. And then there are optional courses, but there are two main tracks, two main areas where you can choose from. First of all, human rights. There is a course on human rights and diversity, and another course on international protection of minorities and indigenous people's rights. And then there's another area, another track on transnational law, and there's a course on competition law, and another one on transport and maritime law. And then these are the main courses that can be followed in Deusto, but then there is also a possibility of doing an international mobility in a third country, in the different universities with which we have a mobility agreement. These are only a few of them, but we are increasing the list of universities where you could eventually go to do some courses during the second semester. For instance, here in the slide, you can see the UNIT, the University of Tiradentes in Aracaju, in Brazil, our academy in Finland, Ateneo Law School in Manila, in the Philippines, the George Washington University in Washington, American University in Washington, or Universidad Nacional de San Martín in Buenos Aires. Again, we are negotiating with more universities so that you can do an experience of international mobility in very prestigious universities mainly in the US, in Latin America, in Asia, and we are also exploring the African continent to see if an international mobility can be made in Africa. So that's all as the academic content of the LLM is concerned. If you have any question, then later on we can solve these questions. And now Irache, our secretary, is going to deal with the details of the administrative process. Irache.
Hello again. About the entry process, the most important thing is the deadline is from 15 March to 31st May. So our advice is you to make your application as soon as possible. For example, if you have like to make the arrangements for a visa, that is very important so that you can start the master on time. So our advice to make your application as soon as possible. Then it's really it's not in person, it's online. We can confirm that the process is online. And about the required documentation, you have a list. If you enter in our website, in the LLM website, you have a section about process of admission, and then you can find the documents you have to submit. Is the ID card, the academic record, the CV, the motivation letter, the accreditation of language level. Those of you who have finished already the bachelor, you can include the diploma too, okay? So about the accreditation of language level, if you don't have one, but you have the level the level we are requiring this at this moment is B2. If you don't have the diploma, but you have the level, you can indicate that, and we can make we can have an interview with you in English, or we can make the arrangements for an exam. I mean, here at the University of Deusto. Okay, so that is our advice. If you have any question, you can tell us right now by chat. Okay, any question?
Thank you very much, Irache. Yes, as Irache was saying, you can make your questions either orally, or you can also use the chat in the bottom of your screen. And both Professor Armaza and myself will be more than happy to solve any question, any doubt you may have.
Good afternoon. One question. How many places or spots has the master has?
Emilio?
Yeah. From the legal point of view, we have 30 spots. Okay, but what the academic direction of this LLM program wants to is to organize a small group of students. So even though we have up to 30 spots, we think that it would be good to have only maybe 15, maybe 20 students in the master program. This year, for example, we have 12 students. This was the first year of this master program, but maybe this year we will increase a little bit more this number of students.
Good, thank you, Emilio. Well, there is a question about the proof of the English language. Well, it is important to prove that your level of English is sufficient. But we also make an interview with the candidates in English, so that we can certify that your level is appropriate. Don't forget that all lectures are in English, all the materials are in English. You have to write a dissertation, you have to write a thesis, the final thesis of the master program in English. So we must be sure, we must make sure that your level of English is sufficient. So yeah, and if you, of course, if you have other languages such as German, Chinese, Arabic, whatever, of course, it's an added value, but the level of English must be appropriate. So that's very important.
Maximilian has a question. Maximilian, if you want to ask us something, you have the floor.
Thank you very much at the beginning for this interesting overview about the Master of Laws. For myself, I'm an alumni of the Deusto Law School. I attended an exchange program in 2016. Also, I know Mr. Felipe Gomez-Iza from this program, and I'm highly interested in this program. And I also have up to 2 or 3 friends who would like to attend this program together. Is it possible to attend the program as a group of students?
Yes, of course. Why not? Yeah, I mean, we would be more than happy to welcome you as a group, of course. Yeah, and it will help. It will help if you are surrounded by colleagues, by friends. But yeah, I mean, we will be more than happy to welcome you. Yeah.
Great. And the second question I have is about the dissertation. How does the dissertation work? Is it possible to have a statistical dissertation? Is there a compulsory course within the dissertation, or is it free to choose how to work and how to write this thesis, and especially how to choose the topic of this of the dissertation?
Yeah, Emilio.
Yep. The LLM program, as you saw previously with the presentation of Professor Felipe Gomez, it covers a very huge field of law, from private law and public law, but from the international point of view. Therefore, the dissertation, when you prepare your research for the dissertation, you will be free to choose any topic you want, but the topic must be linked with the international legal field. You can find some kind of connection with the international legal field. Then the methodology, we can discuss about the methodology as well. If you want to adopt some specific methodology, of course we can talk about it, but you can choose the general and the specific topic of your dissertation always if it's linked with international legal studies.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome, Maximilian.
Thank you, Maximilian.
Bye.
Bye. Then there are another questions on the
Paula.
chat.
Yeah, Alexia is questioning about job opportunities. Emilio, perhaps you could reiterate a little bit your thoughts on job opportunities.
Opportunities after doing this master. Okay, yeah. There are several things that I can say about job opportunities. The thing is that this master program, as I said before, has been designed for those persons that are interested in develop their profession, not mainly in, for example, Spain dealing with domestic legal problems, but for those persons that wants to work even in Spain, but dealing with international legal problems. That means that you can find job opportunities not only in Spain, but you can apply to job opportunities in the international content. I show you in one of our slides some job positions in different countries. These are only a few that we identified the last year. We did this research a couple of years ago when we were preparing the accreditation of our LLM program. But I'm pretty sure that today you can find a lot of job opportunities in the international context. The second thing that I want to state is that a University of Deusto has different options and different opportunities to explore some specific possibilities in the field of job, no, at domestic level and an international level. For example, next week we will have a forum for our students to talk with more than 100 companies that are seeking for professionals. Maybe some of them will be interested in the students of international legal master, no? But it will depend. In any case, University of Deusto has a very good departments that are in charge of put into contact between companies, institutions, and our former students, our alumni. We have also this association that is Deusto Alumni that helps you to find some job opportunities in Spain or in the international context.
Yeah. Well, there is another question about the international mobility, and that to what extent it is covered by the program. Well, the fees are covered. So the fees that are paid in Deusto cover the fees, the academic fees in the other universities. So you don't have to pay the fees. But unfortunately, both travel and accommodation has to be covered. Although you will be part of the Erasmus Plus agreement, and some financial help will be given to you by the European Commission. It's not much, but it covers part of the travel and accommodation. But yeah, taking into account that with the field study abroad, that's covered. You don't have to pay anything. During the second semester, the international mobility, yes, you have to take into account that part of it has to be covered by you.
There is another question.
Yeah, there is the possibility of taking Spanish courses. We have an institute of languages, of foreign languages. You can learn Chinese, German, French, Basque. I mean, that's yeah, but including Spanish. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Paula. I think that you have a question concerning the structure of the master, because Paula says that if she decides to join to do the international mobility, she wonders how can manage with the compulsory courses, but there are no compulsory courses at that time. So maybe we can clarify that.
Yes, in the second semester there are courses of two different nature. First of all, there are compulsory courses, and these compulsory courses are organized in February. So in February, you will be finished with the compulsory courses on law, science, and technology, and then you are free. So that's why we want to finish by the end of February, and then if you choose to go to another country, you can do it, because the rest of the courses are optional. So we have organized the structure of the 2 semesters so that you can do an international mobility experience, especially from March, April till the end of June. That's the idea. Emilio, do you need a specific average grade in the bachelor to be admitted to the master?
Yeah. No, you don't need to have a specific grade. The problem is that we aim is to admit students with a very good average grade. I think that maybe it's a good idea for you to send us your CV or to send us some information about your current situation, and we can see if it's possible or not.
Yeah, but we are looking for good students for sure. So you'd better study, you'd better work hard to get good scores, good marks, so that there's no problem with it. But in principle, there's no one specific requirement. So we try to analyze your candidacy overall, taking into account the language requirement, the English level, your motivation, your grades, other motivations that you may have, if you are interested in sport, in music, in poetry, in literature. So we analyze your candidacy as a whole. And of course, the grades are part of it. Okay, any other question? Any other comment?
Hello. Just one thing I want to tell you, okay? Those of you who are international students, if you want to apply for the master right now, you can apply. This is like a pre-admission, okay? The aim of this is that if your visa process takes longer than usual, we think that it can be useful to start the process or to try to start the process right now. So if you have clear that you want to join the master or you want to apply, please send us an email to law@deusto.ts, and what we will do is to put you in contact with our international relations office. They will ask you for some documents, and you can start the process of pre-admission. This way, you have the chance to have the documents for your visa as soon as possible, okay? The rest of you can apply on 15 March onwards, okay? Thank you. Of course, any question you have concerning administrative teams, or even if you want to contact with the directors, you can write to us to this email, to law@deusto.ts, okay? We are at your disposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Irache. Okay, any other question? Any other? Well, if that is not the case, many thanks for your attention, for your interest in our LLM in International Legal Studies. It was a pleasure, and I'm sure that I speak on behalf of both Emilio and Irache. And please do not hesitate to contact us should you have any question, any doubt. We are really at your disposal. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to welcoming you at Deusto.